Welcome to the first SEZ Gem and Jewellery Conclave, Vision 2025. Let us begin by lighting the ceremonial lamp and invoking the blessings of the goddess Saraswati. I shall now invite Shri Colin Shah, Chairman, Gem and Jewellery Export Promotion Council, to welcome us to the first SEZ Gem and Jewellery Conclave Vision 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, Shri Colin Shah.
Welcome to this first SEZ Conclave. A little bit background on SEZ. We have been an important exporter in gems and jewellery as part of the overall basket. 20, 25, 30% of the overall gems and jewellery export has been SEZs from Mumbai, Surat, Jaipur, Noida, other regions in the country, Calcutta. But then in the last 5-10 years, we've more or less had a flat dollar terms growth or even negative growth. And the only real, I would say, large year we saw was post-pandemic last year. Now, there is obviously a variety of reasons for that. One is that even though the overall gems and jewellery industry has grown, for some reason, our SEZs were not reformed. Like, say, we had the GST, which was one big reform. We've had several reforms, I would say, in the last 10 years. But SEZ, for some reason, did not happen. Very happy to now, I would say, share with all of you all that the Desh Bill, as it's called, is finally passed through cabinet, is going into parliament. A parliamentary committee will be formed. And in the next 3 to 6 month period, this should become a reality. What does it mean for all of us? It means that SEZ, I wouldn't say 2.0, but definitely 3.0 will get formed. And this will help all of us to propel ourselves for this next large phase of growth that we will see not only in our industry, but even in our individual businesses. All I can say is that with these, very fine set of gentlemen over here and the support that we get from the Commerce and Finance Ministry, the focus has come back on SEZs a little bit, not a little bit, I would say a lot. And in the next 2-3 years, as soon as this new bill happens, I think we'll all see the huge benefits that we will see, which is going to come out of this.
To make a quick presentation and enlighten you on this mega project, I'd like to invite Shri Bobby Kothari, SEZ Subcommittee member, to make this presentation.
Let's take a sneak peek in terms of what the Mega CFC potentially can be about. The Mega CFC mission, while there is an entire detailed project report that has been done on it, just in a quick nutshell, the idea is a common benefit to all for improving quality and speed, reducing cost and wastage, working on both technologies, as in core technologies and breakthrough, and they will come in stages. The idea is also to build a cluster ecosystem of collaboration for common good. The philosophy is based on the 3 T's. So the first T, technology, the second T, techniques, third T being training. The only way it will work successfully is that if we can make it work together. Thank you so much.
To address us and this distinguished audience, please put your hands together and welcome Shri Shyam Jagannathan, I.A.S, Zonal Development Commissioner, SEEPZ, Mumbai.
Well, the gems and jewellery sector contributes 7% to the country's GDP and 15% to India's total merchandise export. All of you here collectively provide employment to 40 lakh people. And the entire global jewellery consumption, 29% of that originates from India. The sector has a potential of close to 100 billion within reach by the next 2 years. The share of the gems and jewellery sector, although in the total merchandise exports, is close to around 4%. But in terms of relative spreads with sectors like leather, marine, plastic, rubber, the gems and jewellery sector contributes more. My submission is that the Desh Act is presently through the paces of a parliamentary committee. The rules will need a lot of value inputs from the trade, from each quarters. I'm thankful to GJEPC for having very timely done this conclave, because the distillate from such platforms is what will ensure that the Desh Act is really and truly a game changer, as the Honorable Union Minister has been pushing this agenda on the national export firmament. Before I end, I can only reiterate the lines of a famous patriotic song in line of the Desh Act. मेरे देश की धरती सोना उगले, उगले हीरे मोती मेरे देश की धरती.
May I now request Shri Shubhankar Sen, convener SEZ subcommittee, to kindly thank those responsible for making this day possible.
It gives me a great privilege and honor that on behalf of GJEPC, we are being able to host the first SEZ conclave, where we are all here with all the panel discussions, planning, discussing as to how we can grow our exports in the future, generate more employment, and ensure that overall as an economy, we can continue to grow. Along with that, the panel discussions that we'll have, there will be discussions on technology, branding, because as Gem and Jewellery Export Promotion Council, we are working with one vision as to how do we make India as the jewelers to the world, the preferred manufacturing hub in which consumers across the world should consider India as the destination to buy the jewelry. My heartfelt gratitude to ED sir, the Secretariat and the GJPC team. And lastly, my gratitude to the Government of India, our Honorable Prime Minister, our Honorable Commerce Minister, Shri Piyush Goyal, Ministry of Commerce, Mr. Vipul Bansal, who couldn't be present here, our Joint Secretary, for their support to the industry. And finally, all of you who are present here, we hope that this event truly will be a great event.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get directly into our first panel discussion, Export Enhancement Strategy. It's my privilege and pleasure to invite on stage our most erudite moderator. He is co-convener, SEZ Subcommittee, and Director, Jewellery. Please put your hands together for Bobby Kothari.
SEEPZ has witnessed actually rather no or little growth for many, many years. And then suddenly 2021 happened, COVID happened, post that 2021 happened. And we witnessed SEEPZ, Surat, SEZ, Jaipur, all having wonderful growth. Question is this growth really sustainable? And if so, how?
When we started our journey, overall everybody in the zone were like cast contractors. And then the wax setting technology came, and then everybody grew along with the wax setting technology, and over the years, everybody grew together. The mindset, traditional mindset of everybody was, we want to make it very cheap. When I say cheap, means not in terms of quality, but cheap in terms of cost efficiency, and turn around the mass production within the certain timeline to make sure that all the major retail chain stores of the world, including, and major part is US, are being sufficed with. But on the world I.A.S, I would say that SEEPZ is known as a reliable hub for getting any jewelry out of here.
Rohitji, what's your secret of success?
So if you look at ecosystem in China, you have component manufacturing, machine manufacturing, stone cutting, availability of raw material, packaging, and development, product development is right there. Mumbai SEZ has the same small, unique combination of casting, precision cutters, precision jewelry makers, diamonds, and jewelry. And SEEPZ has a major footprint in the US market because of this ecosystem. And with this mega project coming up, it's going to be a game changer.
Thank you, Rohitji. Chauhan Sahib?
See, in cut and polish diamond, we are ranking first. Okay, almost $73 billion say we are exporting $23.5 billion. And we are ranking first, almost 33%. But see, 90% or more than 90% diamonds are being cut in India. But that is volume-wise. Value-wise, we are 33%. So where are these big diamonds? Why we are not able to go to that 30% increase in $23 billion? We can easily do that. Just bring those bigger diamonds from Belgium or Israel to India. And if you feel that in your domestic market there is some difficulty in processing, or if they are not having that trust or confidence in Indian artisans or Indian technology or Indian systems, bring it to SEZs. That's where I guarantee you the SEZs like SEEPZ or other SEZs will provide you the best of the infrastructure, the best in the securities. In COVID, when 1,000 crores of inventory was lying, not a single incident happened.
Is there something called brand SEEPZ in the minds of the customer, in your mind, and how can we enhance that?
I think honestly, SEEPZ, and again, I'm not talking about a particular, in general, I think US manufacturers, retailers look at it for cost efficiency, which is great because it helps you cater to the mid and low price point items. But as Chauhanji said, right, the big diamonds are not coming. The finer jewels are not coming. And I think that's the true opportunity of elevating SEEPZ to be doing finer goods. And while we understand duty becomes a component, why that's not being able to be moved, but that would be my dream. The day duty is removed out of India, I think so exports would just go through the roof.
Chauhan Sahab, how about building brand SEEPZ, sir?
If we want to position SEEPZ in right perspective before right audience, we need to go to abroad, actually. Wherever your shows are there, you take SEEPZ there. There should be some booth, some space for SEEPZ, and where SEEPZ can tell people who we are. Change your mindset. Go for diversification, go for innovation, go for new technology. So quest everywhere, search for new ideas.
Thank you, sir. Like you said, we are on your side. I think you need to be equally as a part of the team. Amazing thoughts. Thank you for sharing them. Much appreciated.
Let's invite the co-founder and chief executive officer of Agnikul Cosmos, a startup based out of IIT Chennai, to share his perspective with us.
Made in India, that whole movement of Made in India has been a great success. I think it has got a lot of things to our country. But I think it's also time we move to the next step there, which is about design in India. So the context of Make in India was that we have a lot of people and a lot of infrastructure, which globally could be very attractive from probably a cost standpoint, also from an efficiency standpoint, to get things done, which could attract capital coming into the country. Right? And I think that has been an extremely successful run. What has happened since then is that I think India has grown way past the point of just being a manufacturing hub. I mean, that's almost a given now in my understanding. At least that's how the technology world sees it, I think. But is that enough? Are we going to become, I think in the recent Independence Day speech as well, the Prime Minister mentioned 2047, the 100th year, by the 100th year, we should be a developed nation, right? And I don't think we become a developed nation from a developing nation by just doing hundreds of the same parts.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our very distinguished moderator, Mr. Neville Tata, Executive Director, Renaissance Global Limited.
For technology, skilling, and branding, is there a correlationship in all the three aspects that we are going to talk about today? Is it as important, not important? So I would like to ask this question to Ankit.
A brand is like a language. You know, when you see a product of a brand, you know from a distance that this product is from this brand. And a language that is an expression of the people who are creating it and something that is aspirational to the consumers, right? So how do you create that language? It needs something that is unique and a certain consistency with which you create everything. And if one has to create that, then it's not possible without technology or without skills of creation, creativity, and design, innovation, etc. So I think the three are absolutely interconnected. And if you want to do something unique, then technology can help bring those unique ideas to life, can change the way we imagine things. And talent and skills, there's nothing you can create without a human brain. So there's no question about that at all.
So when we talk about technology, I think Professor Azim Tiwari is the right person to direct this question to.
So we at IIT Bombay are very closely working with 4 jewelry manufacturers right here in SEEPZ. I have been visiting them like a dozen times. We have meetings almost every week. And what we are looking at is how we can bring in the core science and artificial intelligence into the manufacturing of jewelry and take it to the next level. And as Ankit rightly said, you need to have a language for the brand. And I think the brand which we can think of, the one key identifier, so whenever you think of a brand, you have something which you identify them with. So I think the key thread which we can think of can be technology. So SEEPZ could be looked at as, arts of jewelry and the technology, which is the latest cutting-edge future technology. And if you could just kind of click that thing, that if the end user sees SEEPZ as a place of cutting-edge technology and fusion of that with the beautiful art of the jewelry, that would be the key thing.
Thank you. So, Adil bhai, you being in the manufacturing segment, Professor Azim Tiwari has just mentioned that there is technology which they're developing with different people in SEEPZ, they're talking to them. Does that seem of any interest to you, sir, that how you could use this technology for your manufacturing setup?
Between technology, skilling, and branding, we have these 3 aspects that we are discussing today. And if technology leads the front, followed by the right kind of skilling, then the brand has to follow.
So, Dr. Parag Vyas, do you see that this is going to be helpful? And since, jewelry is still, we manufacture with our own hands, and it's a very manual labor still, not very automated industry like other industries. So what would your inputs be, sir, on this?
Jewelry is a game of just 2 aspects. One is accuracy and second is precision. Form, Indian jewelry, head and shoulders is above. You can take any jewelry from the world, and Indian jewelry in its richness of form is head and shoulders above it, at least 200 years ahead of nearest competition. But these are the 2 stumbling blocks where we lack accuracy and precision. So I think with Professor Tiwari's technologies, if we can somehow address these 2 issues, repeat accuracy and precision of mechanical precision of things, then we are a clear winner. As long as the processes will be there, human hand also will exist side by side. And both, in my opinion, are not competitions, they are complementary to each other.
What is exactly missing? Why are we not in a position where India has a strong brand presence in the world? And how can we reach there?
We need to, if we really want to build brands, one thing that we have to really sort of reflect upon is how we are challenging our design team to think out of the box so that technology can be an aid to those ideas.
So thank you very much. Thank you, panelists, for being with us. Thank you, everybody, for patiently giving us a year. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go directly into our next presentation, which is an industry perspective and expert presentation. Rucha Nanavati, Chief Information Officer at Mahindra Group, is a global leader with experience in enabling business strategies through technology solutions.
On the Mahindra side, what do you think they have done effectively in the last couple of years in mixing tech with customer experience, on how are they selling today?
How did you buy a car 7, 8, 10 years ago? You'll walk into a dealership, you'll take a drive, test drive, you'll decide whether you like it or not, you buy it. Fast forward now, a few days ago, we launched our latest model, Scorpio N. It's a coveted model for people who are, SUV fanatics. We sold 1 lakh SUVs in 30 minutes. There is no physical way you could have, 1 lakh of people who would have test-driven the vehicle and bought it, right? Here comes technology, here comes brand, here comes trust. So customer experience has become a completely different ball game, even for very, very physical products that were very conventional industries. And I'm sure that's true for jewelry as well.
Lovely. Anyways, on that happy note, thank you so much. This was wonderful for our entire audience.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's begin with our moderator. Please welcome Executive Director, Gem and Jewellery Export Promotion Council, Mr. Sabyasachi Ray.
Whatever we are hearing throughout the day, of course, a lot of technology, a lot of digital interface, what we are talking about, it is very important to understand that the branding, a lot of people have talked about brand India. Now, if we all remember that when the current government came in, they talked about two things, which I think all of us now understand. When they started talking, maybe a lot of people are not understanding. The branding of this government was into digital India, and now we all understand what is meant by digital India. When it started in 2014, we may not be knowing about what exactly was it. And another thing what this government propagated is, of course, the maximum governance, minimum government is the exactly opposite and what the industry wants, or maybe what the country wants. It is important to understand that from there only, this Desh Act, throughout the day, we have heard about this Desh Act continuously. And the connotation was done very well. As this government always comes out with the names of this act, that connotations are so friendly to the people. So Desh, what do you mean by Desh? Of course, I think nobody has told. Let me also spell it out. It is called a Development Hub Act. Inside, there are two words, which is very important and pertinent, which is development, in bracket, they have put it Enterprise and Services Act. So it makes Desh.
The Desh bill has been fleshed out well. It is more of a responsive administration. As you started with saying, minimum administration and maximum governance. There were multiple initiatives in this. The first was ease of doing business. Because any business, be it manufacturing, be it a service, that business would understand best what it needs, what would be the inputs for its business decisions. There were issues within the SEZ in terms of DTA access, in terms of net foreign exchange earnings, and in terms of basically the processes of a single window clearance not exactly happening. So the transition from a zone to a hub is essentially to address why 29,000 hectares of SEZ notified area is still idle and not utilized by businesses. It was to bring those institutional and regulatory changes to spur further investment for enterprises to come in low cost into zones which have now transited into hubs, where the ease of doing business is brought together under one umbrella of a legislation.
See, our target and goal is the same, that we have to make more and more exports.
I'd like to just add one point here. Based on the draft bill that we saw, there is a concept of a positive list and a negative list. Right now, as and when we do the broadbanding of an LOA, we look for the forward and backward linkages. But in case of Desh, there will be a list of activities that a unit is able to do, and those will be easily added to its LOA, and there will be a list of activities which the unit will not be allowed to do, or it will be allowed to do without any duty exemption. That will be in the Schedule 1, and it will be called as a negative list. And that will, I think, will make the process very easy to venture out into a new vertical, manufacturing or service vertical.
Okay, I think we are way out of time, so we have to close this session. It was a very engrossing session. Thank you all.
And ladies and gentlemen, with that we come to the end of the first SEZ Gem and Jewellery Conclave Vision 2025 presented by GJEPC and supported by SGL. I'll request Mr. Shivankar Sen to thank the many people who have made this such a riveting, engrossing and memorable event. Mr. Shivankar Sen.
I think there is a lot of takeaway that we did in today's event from the afternoon. A lot of knowledge And that was the objective that we at the Gem and Jewellery Export Promotion Council had for all of you, that we should make this conclave a platform to exchange ideas, to learn from each other, and inspire each other so that we can take the industry forward. Thank you very, very much.